Hello. I thought
Hey,
Hi,
Jules.
Mags. Hi, Mags. How are you?
I'm really fantastic today. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I thought it was time for an update, Mags. This is our third lounge chat. So I'm on the lounge. I've got my cup of tea, and even though you're in New Zealand, it's still going to be great to connect with you. So, how about you give me an update? How is the showering coming along? Would you like to share?
Yeah, I'm going to start by saying that I've had a real um, mind shift around that. So, um, yes, for those of you that have been following my journey, I got to 24 days in a row, and then all of a sudden I fell off the wagon, and so I got to days 5, and then um and then I missed a couple of days, and then um I was speaking to a friend of mine, and she said just drop counting the days. Just go, okay, today is day 1 of 1, because we were such a um number crunchy, or such a day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and that's all good analytically speaking, but you're also very hard on yourself. If you've missed a day, you don't go, oops, let's just start again tomorrow. That just stays stuck in your uh, biosystem for days on end. So, how about you treat every day as just day 1? And so I no longer count. And here's the other thing. Although it's clunky as heck and stuff like that, still most of the time I try not to um be so hard on myself when it comes to, oh shit. Um I no longer stay in it for 5 hours, I just stay in it for 2. Um so from that perspective, it's going really well. Has it increased my um, um, self love um, meter? In some respects, it's made it go backwards, but that's because I realized that um, it's a long journey that I have to overcome, or that I'm challenging. It's not a quick fix, and that's okay with me, because not everything that we get in life is instant coffee fixable, right? It's not a let me have a marshmallow and make myself feel better kind of sugar hit moment. It's a, okay, let's be real. This is going to take longer than anticipated, and is that okay? And for someone that's a perfectionist, and someone that has to be like um, beating herself up for being wrong all the time, because as children we're taught that if we do something wrong, well then that makes us wrong. No, it doesn't make us wrong. We just did something wrong, but that's not who our identity is, you see. And so that's the big shift that I made, is when I do something wrong, it doesn't make me wrong. The behavior is wrong, but it doesn't make me wrong as a person. And so that's been a big shift.
Yeah. Can I share something, Max?
Great, go ahead.
I have been noticing the dominant self in me, and and I realized that I let my dominant self rule at times. So I'm working on being kind to myself too. And yeah, so I am really aware of the dominating self that I've had in my external world, but it's a condition that I've taken on in my internal world. So now I'm working on being kind and letting the kind person, the kind part of me, dominate the dominator, if that makes sense. So, yeah,
So,
and really,
because I've been following your journey, sorry to interrupt, that I have a follow-up question. So, because I've been following your journey, is that the headmaster that you often refer to
yeah,
in your reels? When
yeah.
you say, "Oh, the headmaster's coming out," is that what you mean?
Yeah, yeah. So he's the dominator. It's like,
Cool.
you sit down here and you get that right, and don't move off that chair until you get it right. And then
Yeah,
the other part of me comes in and go, it's okay, darling, let's go out and play. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So the headmaster is certainly the dominator. And now I'm being the lovely little person that comes in and takes that little child out and we go and play and yeah, go up you, headmaster.
And it seems to be working, right? Because I just want to like congratulate congratulate your vulnerability in that, because the vulnerability in the reels that I've been seeing coming out of this container is really hitting the mark somewhere. Um, Particularly, I really enjoyed the one where you and your husband were sitting there discussing a retreat or some course that they just finished, and I found that the most profoundly short conversation I've heard in this container, because it was a guy, your husband, that had never done anything like that before. And he's gone, hey, I did this and it wasn't as bad as I thought, and this is what I learned. But for him to be so open about it and to be so real about it inspires other people to want to do the same thing. And out of all of the reels that you put forward so far, I've watched that one about 15 times, because it's like, here's a grown here is a grown man going, hey, I wasn't into this stuff because I didn't think it would work for my system. And he's going, yeah, at least he's giving it a go, and he's learning and he's doing something. So it gives us all hope that that can be the case, because I've discovered something else, okay? It's not just us that that are changing with it. We're not doing this change thing in isolation. And if we think we are, we're fooling ourselves, because our families are doing it by osmosis. And that's why it can be quite often clunky, because our families get the brunt of our transformational, look at this, our transformational vomit, for want of a better word, comes up all over them, and so they not only see the good parts of our transformation, but they see those parts that are not so good. And so I just want to honor that for those that are following our journey, and for those that are part of our journey, our families, our communities, because we're not doing this by ourselves. And that's why this community is so freaking so powerful, right? It's because we're not doing it by ourselves. I don't want to just have a conversation with Julie every month. I want more people to come into this planet, to this family environment, because we're doing this together. And that's what's so powerful. Everyone can do it. And no matter what shape you are in terms of how you come, that's okay. And it's such a powerful thing, because I met your husband before any of this journey began, right? And I'm like, I'm looking at him, I'm looking at him before, looking at him now, and it's like, honestly, the difference is chalk and cheese. And so when we go through a journey, our families transform with us. So I want more family members and more family members to see that they can transform along with us too. We don't want to keep this to us. In a sense, we don't want to keep this transformation stuff to ourselves. We want everyone to benefit, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Right. Yeah. So I hope that kind of helps. And I also want to celebrate 250 podcast episode downloads, because that's just freaking blowing my mind. Because it's amazing, because we do this thing because we want to impact people. I met you because I was on someone else's podcast. You've transformed my life. Now we're doing this thing together in the hope that God help us that we transform other people, not because we're any better than they are, but because we want to be heartfelt in our conversations, and we want to make people see that our story matters, but so does theirs. And that's a powerful thing. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Mags. I was really blown away about how many views on YouTube there has been of my husband chatting with me, and he did the mindfulness on by himself in a men's group, and I am really blown away with the words that comes out of his mouth, because it's like it's not scripted, it's coming from heart, and there has been a huge shift, and he can feel it. And he always, when we first met over 5 years ago, whenever I spoke about universe, he just rolled his eyes. Now there's not a day go by that he doesn't use that word. And so it is just amazing. And I'm so grateful that he is open to be real, raw, and vulnerable. And he is 62 years of age, and someone commented saying it proves that you're not too old to change, and that is true. He is an example of you're never too old to make changes. So I'm so grateful that we've aligned, and he's here to support me and walk this journey with me. So I am so grateful. And
I think too,
he just loves chatting to you too, Max.
that's what I was gonna say, that I don't think he I don't think he realizes the difference between when we first met and when we chatted when you were on another appointment, how different his he was more relaxed. He was more, you know, just talking to a mate, like, you know, and that's what I'm saying to you. When I saw his reaction to finishing the course, I'm like, man, I'm so proud of this man, because he's just come so far. But I'm like, if that's how he is with me, and I'm a person of difference, I wonder what kind of an impact he makes to those clients that he sees on a daily basis. And is that now rubbing off because he's making the changes within himself? And so it's a powerful thing. And so, like, don't be, I'm like, don't be afraid to be, like, out there in terms of what you will now allow yourself as people to go near in terms of conversation. I think the more vulnerable we can be about things that really matter, the more easier it will be for us to change who we've been, so that we can become who we are becoming, or who we've always been, but just awakening to. Um, I'm so enamored by the lady that you had on your podcast not long ago, the lady that lost her son to the tragic accident. And I was really happy that someone from the other side was able to communicate with her still, because people come through to me like that all the time. And so I was able to see that it does not just happen in isolation, but other people do have that happen as well, and that she's able to transform her grief, or her experiential journey, into something of triumph. And so, yeah, for those of you that haven't watched any episodes of Julie's heartfelt podcast, may I extend the invitation that if you did so, I promise you that even if you didn't get what you thought you'd get out of it, you'd get something out of it, and it would change your perspective. Does everything align with me that she talks about on that podcast? Certainly not. But there are parts of it that do. And so I just invite more and more of you to please engage with us, because the more engagement that we get, the bigger reach we'll have, and then the bigger guests that she can invite onto her podcast, right? So, yeah, we do this because we care. Both of us care deeply about mental health and about different modalities and how you can heal yourself, not just with medicine, but with other methods. And so, yeah, please join our conversations.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mags. And when you made mention about the 250 podcast downloads, that was just podcast. That wasn't even YouTube. So I'm so grateful for all my guests, and I just feel like everyone's stories matters. And I just am so excited that I have had So many amazing guests, and I have more to come, and they are humans, and peeling away all that ego, and it's just beautiful to witness. And having that conversation with Deborah on episode 19, and I'm getting goose pimples. It's like Jack's here with me. He's like shaking. Yeah, it's happened. I've been in the room and I have felt Jack, and I feel like Jack's here right now. And to witness that with the mother and son, and it was actually on Jack's, oh, I'm getting so many goose pimples, Jack's 21st birthday. And so we got to spend that time with Jack, and he was in this cheekiness mood, and it was so beautiful to witness. And yeah, so I just love I just love the ripple effect, and I just love also that we've started this Your Story Matters movement, and it's a school community. It's SKOOL community, and I'll have the link below that you can join. It's a free community, and it's where we can hop on. We've only just started it. It's only fresh, but there's a lot happening in the background. And so if you're interested, you'll be able to have a intimate conversation with Mags and I and the other guests. And we can be real, raw, vulnerable. We can share our story. There's no judgment. There's no butting in. They're letting that person have their talk. There's no solving. It's all about them, that person having an opportunity to share. So I was so excited that we can bring this to the community, Mags.
I was really one podcast episode that really shocked me quite a lot was Raz Matters, and only because I know her quite well. She's a colleague of mine, but I did not know about the equipment falling on it, and it was only when um I saw your podcast that I'm like, okay, but like even having guests like Roswana on there talking about sexuality and sensuality from a perspective of oneness and a perspective of um from a whole new lens was like eye-opening to me. And so yeah, I just want to also reiterate that within the school community it's going to be great because there's no resolving from other people.
No.
You guys are going to have to sorry about you guys are going to have to resolve your own, whatever, because we're not going in there. We're not going to give you advice. I'm not going to give you advice. I don't want your advice either. When I go in there, I just want to vomit if I need to vomit, celebrate if I need to celebrate, whatever. So, from that perspective, it's going to be great because we think this is traditionally how I thought that recovery means going to get someone else to help us to do it for us, right? And what's so beautiful about Julie's offering is this: A, it's free. B, it's for anyone that's in recovery, whatever that looks like for you in terms of self discovery. And B, it's no hand holding, it's no kumbaya. It can be if you know the tune or whatever. You know what I mean? It can be that, but it can also be this. Whereas in traditional ways of resolving things, AA, you go there, you listen to people's stories, and it often makes you worse because it's a sob story about whose sob stories they're trying to one up each other. Whereas in this container, there'll be none of that because we're not here to, we're not here to fix you because you're not broken, right? None of us are broken, and if we got that in the first place, well, then this offering wouldn't be needed, right? But unfortunately, since the day dot, since Adam and Eve, we haven't got that. We still think we're intrinsically not whole. And the moment that we can go, aha, I'm whole, and I've always been whole, and that's okay, then the world will be a better place. Here endeth my sermon for today, but yeah, been a powerful journey. I'll just tell you one quick aside. My caregivers thank the Lord for every single day that you've come into my life because they say since you've met Julie and since you've had the opportunity of learning from her journey and that it's okay for you to be you, we've seen a whole new Margaret, and they watch because I kind of make it mandatory. They watch my episodes, but they also watch your your other guest episodes, and they know Razwana. They've actually met her in person, and they learned things about her that they hadn't known before. And so, from that perspective, they also want me to continue to pass on their greatest gratitude because it does make a difference to their world because they now want to turn up to work in the morning because I'm now a whole completely different kettle of fish. Whereas before I met you, to be honest with you, I was getting down to, hey, Margaret, there's only 2 people that will now get you up in the morning. That's the honest truth because I was so bad when it came to how I saw myself in the morning that I would take it out on my caregivers. And that's just not who I chose. That's just not who I'm choosing to be anymore. So now at least I got 3 or 4 that'll come in and get me up. Whereas the management were coming down here from my facility going, pull your head in, mate. Otherwise we're gonna have to leave you in bed because no one, literally, no kidding, no joke, would want to come in here. And I'm gonna be quite I'm gonna be quite vulnerable and say that I used to say to my caregivers a long time ago now, thank goodness, why don't you just not why don't you just do the world a favor and not be here anymore? Because I felt so bad about myself that I was transferring my feelings about how I felt onto them. And it wasn't until I went, hang on, okay, first of all, let me just tell you, podcast viewers, no, that wasn't an okay thing to say. And I've amended that situation. And that never comes out of my mouth again from the day that I said it. I just want to make it quite clear, number one. Number two, that I learned that was a good lesson though, because I learned that that's how internally I was speaking to myself. And if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have learned that lesson. Why am I being vulnerable about that? Because I assume that I'm not the only one that says bad things to people in their lives that they care about because of the way that they feel internally. So if I can turn that around, and if I can turn my whole existence around from being a rebel without a cause, seriously, no organization wanted to touch me with a barge pole because I was such a rebel, right? Now I'm changing my life around. I got a, I got a, I got a job that I'm really happy about. Most of the time, I've got a coaching career that I'm starting, and I'm starting to get a good care routine. I'm starting to get some good quality sleep. So everything's coming together.
Beautiful, Mags. Well done. Great share. Thank you very much for that. I do have a bit of a confession that I haven't talked to you really about this, but I have a Your Story Matters movement event coming up, and I'm actually going to do two. And I know you'll be a part of one of them because it's in your time zone, but I'm not sure whether you'll be a part of the other one because it's more reaching a different time zone. So I'm starting it on the 2nd of November and the 3rd of November, and it is going to be an 8-week event. And I've put your name down for hopefully both of them, and I'm letting it out to the community for people. It's a paid event, and all the details will be on the Humatech form. And when I pop it on social media, you'll be able to click on the link and find out all the details. So it's 251 Australian dollars for 8 weeks, and it's for at least an hour on a Sunday night at 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, or on a Monday morning at 8 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time. And what we're doing is whoever chooses to be a part of the event, it'll be on a Zoom, and we'll all be in a situation where we can just talk and hand around the speaking pole so people can share their story and really share it and be heard. So I know I've spoken a little bit about it with you, Mags, but I didn't tell you the dates. So it's all very exciting.
I'm excited. I'm, oh, that's just going to be epic.
Yeah, it's
That is really epic. So epic. Come and join us, please. Come and join us. Because I don't want to do all the talking, and neither does Jules. So we need a lot of people to come and join us because it's going to be amazing.
And what I feel is when I hear other people's stories, I'm going to learn from that too. And I'll be having light bulb moments, and it's going to help me with my self-discovery journey, which oh, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking. A big warm hug. It's just going to be so lovely. So
A hug and a mug.
hug in a mug, that's right.
Yeah, yeah, okay, so here's the deal, right? I've learned that I've been going about this whole mind and body connection thing all wrong. Like that in order for me to be who I'm supposed to be, well then I've got to get like my processes right, and it's about identity. It's not about process. It's about who do I be regardless of um whether I've got a title or not. It's, am I happy with Mags if all I did for the rest of my days was breathe? Is that going to be enough for me? Um, and then I realized, hey, I'm not happy with me unless I've got a job or a title or a da 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 da. And so I did a post yesterday which said, realistically, if you were to ask your lungs, can you help me breathe today? You don't ask them that question; they just automatically do it, right? You don't have to. You don't have to say to your lungs, "Well, can you help me breathe?" Because it's just one of those things. So then, why do we ask ourselves? Why do we think we need a title or a beingness in order to make us feel whole? Why can't we just be happy because we're Julie and that's enough? Or happy because we're Margaret and that's enough? You know, why is it that our presence is no longer enough for us? I mean, it's enough for our families. It's enough for our families, right? Who we are is enough for our families. So why is it not okay for us?
Yeah, very interesting. That's something for me to ponder on, Mags. So, yeah, thank you.
Love you heaps.
Yeah, was there any, love you, was there anything else you wanted to share, or you're all shared out for this time?
I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions because I'm dying to know how you realistically go without sugar. Because I can't even begin to fathom it. Like, how to, like, for those of you that don't know, I've cut down my coffee significantly, but when it comes to sugar, it's a whole completely different thing. And when I found out that Jules has no sugar, I'm like, how on earth does she do that? Because I rely on sugar to be my get me up and go kind of thing. When I'm out of energy, it's a quick fix. Well, I need to go into my next meeting, so I'm gonna have a coffee so I can have some sugar. So, in that respect, it's like that's what I use sugar for. I don't even use it as a treat. I use it as I need this high to get me over this hump. And then when the hump finishes, it's when I crash. And so at the end of this corridor, can you just quickly go over two steps in order for me to not use sugar so much as a get me to the next meeting kind of thing.
Well, thank you for asking, Mags. I can only speak about what I have worked on, and I used to be exactly the same. I use sugar to give me that energy to get through that moment. And it's a practice I've used all my life, and even with emotions to make me feel good, to give me energy, to help me celebrate, to when I'm bored, I've used sugar for all of those things. And when I felt not safe in my body, but now I've actually had to come get the fixes in other ways. So tiredness was such a huge thing. And I spoke about that in my episode 7 about tiredness. And what I used to do is if I'm tired, I'd pull up the shop and I'd get 3 Freddo frogs, or I'd get a chocolate to get me through. Well, now I actually might have a micro nap, which might be only 10 minutes, where I just close my eyes and do some breath work. Or I might go and just lie in the sun, might just really be present at that moment, and go and touch a tree, be in nature, kiss Russell, or have a hug, give myself a hug. And that gives me that energy shift.
But how does it get you? I get all that part. That's really cool. I'm not negating what you just said, but how does it get? How does it get you past the I need the sugar craving part?
Well, because I don't have many carbs, I don't eat many carbs at all. I'm a very low carb eater. And now that I don't have carbs, I don't want carbs. And I'm in keto and I'm in ketosis and I'm having more protein and more fat. So I'm not craving the carbs. But if I would have a bit of carb, it's this loop that happens that I just want more carbs. So to get me out of that is I was just started eating more protein, more fat, and that actually satisfies me more. And I don't want the carbs. So
I'm
carbs,
gonna have to
carbs
try
wants
that.
me more carbs, wants me to
I'm
have,
a carb queen.
yeah,
I have to have it. I honestly, people, confession time for me too. I'm a potato fry Jill, I must have potato in some form, whether it be baked potato, but potato chips or fries every day in some form. If I don't, I feel like my nose has been cut off my face. Seriously. And so, but then I learned that that was like really bad, like in terms of that was all my body would tolerate. So when I tried to put other foods in its place, my system didn't like it literally, and I would end up going to the bathroom more than normal because my body had just got used to one group of foods. So going from heaps of carbs to slowing it down a bit has been an interesting journey. And so that's why I thought I'd talk to the one that's been along the journey a lot faster. So
yeah.
thank you. I'll try that.
Yeah, it is a big process. And when I speak about, I forget what episode that was, maybe eight, no, I think it might have been episode 16. I spoke about alcohol, and
Yeah,
yeah,
I
maybe
saw
it
that.
was just episode 18. And I spoke about it's been 3 years without alcohol and 1 year without sugar. And
Powerful.
it has unpacked so much stuff. It's not about what's going in the mouth. It affects the digestion, it affects the mind, it affects the emotion, it affects so much because I had an attachment to a lot of those foods and why I was eating them. And then when I had to let go of that attachment, um, it does affect the body. The body does process things differently. So, well done, Mags, that you're at least bringing it into your awareness. And that's where you've got to, I find that it's really important for the human to be kind to themselves when they're making those changes and they're making that.
Well, I think it's important for me because I I'm like 4'1", literally. They've just measured me. I'm 4'1", and I'm 18 inches around my waist, and I am currently 84.1 kgs. And so for me, because I sit down all day, it's become imperative as I'm getting older. Like now I'm 54, then I start to look after my health a lot more, right? Because as CP age quicker in terms of your organs and that because they're all squashed together like sardines because I don't sit right. So I'm like, ugh. So I'm doing the best I can with what I've got because I've only got one body, right? And I'm about to approach menopause. So that's going to be exciting. Like I'm pre-menopausal now, and so I just can't wait for that. Jokingly, hand on heart, like I can't wait for that knot, uh, for that journey to begin. So, if you're interested in following any of our journeys, both mine or Judy's, welcome aboard.
Yeah,
It's
and
going to be
it'll
interesting.
it'll be lovely in that 8 week before Christmas that we can actually all get on and engage and talk and see the growth that we have while we talk on Zoom. And there will be a recorded link that if you happen to miss one or you want to go back and listen, you will get the recorded link. So you can listen and learn and have your own light bulb moments of what comes up. So I'm so grateful to you, Mags, for being in my life, and I look forward to chatting again. And love you lots. And just remember,
Likewise, I
just
really
remember.
want you to come to New Zealand one day.
Oh, definitely, I am. It is on my list. My husband has been a few times, and I've never been, so it's definitely on my list. And just remember, your story matters.